Hey everybody, this is Timothy Bennett here,
Zarin Banyan.
Jason Chandler.
and welcome to B&B Banter Bros Goes to the Movies. Tonight, we are going to be talking about Amazon Prime original film that just came out this year, starring
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt.
I think it just came out this past week, didn't it?
Yeah, I think
July
so, right?
2nd.
Yes, it was past
Yeah.
week.
I don't fucking know.
It's July 8th.
So, yes. If you want me to fucking say it. Yes, you are correct.
And yeah, it's called the
I didn't
Tomorrow
work
War.
today. I didn't label anything.
It's called the Tomorrow War, and
Boo! Boo this man!
Like Aaron said before, I kind of might agree. I'm afraid to agree with you, but I might not like sci-fi movies anymore.
oh man, I love sci-fi movies.
I grew up loving them as well.
I did
And
too
this
when I was
one-
younger. But yeah, all these sci-fi movies lately, like nothing holds for me.
Well, we'll get into
Yeah.
the reason why in a little bit. So, this movie is it's a
Creative premise. I really like the premise.
right. So I was trying to think about how this works. So basically, it's about in the future, 30 years from
Yes.
wherever that is. I guess it's supposed to be the present. There's this.
2022.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's a year later.
Yeah.
now, but.
They gave us time. That's fine.
There's a in the future 30 years there's a war that happens between these alien creatures that come out of nowhere, basically take over the world.
Well, it's been going on.
No,
for
yeah,
quite-
the war is almost over. Like they're on their last
Annihilation.
legs. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's still irrelevant. That the point is
Okay.
the war is happening.
It's happening.
Yeah.
It's not.
And so basically the future people created this weird time a wormhole
Makeshift.
come back makeshift wormhole
I
comes
fucking hate
back
this
to the
movie.
present to basically recruit, which then they don't even recruit, they just fucking draft, actually steal, not even draft it, they basically stole Chris Pratt into it.
Well, that's what the draft is. Is basically saying you get to work.
Yeah, I
And then
mean,
they just like throw people from the fucking sky and they just die
right,
randomly.
but
That
to
was a
go
mistake.
yeah
That's
to
what
go
they said, but I'm pretty sure that
into
was
the
happening
future
the
to
entire
try to
time.
help out. And yeah, that's I'm gonna leave it
Because
at
they
that.
needed bodies. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. So, just right away, when you saw the trailer, because we all watched the trailer, I'm assuming.
I did
right?
not.
No.
I don't think I did.
Well, then I'm gonna skip that question
Yeah, I was
because
gonna say, let's skip that. 'cause-
I saw the trailer and I didn't have any interest in watching it. And I like Chris Pratt, I really do. I think he's
Yeah.
doing really good at action. He's doing really good at comedy. I mean, he's
Yeah, I miss
He's
He's
overall-
that delightful blend.
Yeah.
He's very charismatic. He's funny. He's goofy. Whatever. But I just had no interest in watching this film, and from the trailer. Now, let's just go ahead and
Well, the time travel movie, first of all.
Right. Let's just go ahead and say, did we like it, Jason?
Nope. I like the premise, and they fucked it up.
Okay.
I felt the second half was better than the first. I ground my teeth the first half of this movie, and I went to bed. I got up the next morning. I ate breakfast while watching the rest of it, and I don't know if I just needed to sleep, but like the second half was tolerable.
Okay.
Yeah, the same thing. I had to pause it when they left Miami, woke up in the tent,
Yeah,
and I paused and then I gave a lot of time and came back to it. So maybe that helped with liking the second half more, but
So you had to give yourself a little bit of a break just
got,
from the
Yeah.
half.
got to sit and stew on how bad the first half
it's like
was.
2 hours and 7 minutes long, and it felt like fucking Martin Scorsese's Irishman or something.
Yeah, this movie took it for me and Jason. It felt like this movie took forever.
Mm-hmm.
My joke was I thought I had been watching it for about an hour and a half, and I paused the movie and it was 43 minutes.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
the one thing about the director who did this movie is the only thing I saw that he has done was the Lego movie. Like I think it was
Oh, fantastic.
the Lego Batman movie, and so they
That explains why all the jokes were forced in here then.
so
All that
basically
levity.
right. So basically, this was This was like his first actual film with real people,
Fantastic.
for that matter.
Awesome.
Well, it's good practice to get back on your skills after a year of not having the chance to with COVID and everything.
This movie would have been better with Legos.
But that also explains why Chris Pratt was in it. Because Chris Pratt was in the Lego movie.
He was?
Yeah, he was the main guy in the Lego movie.
I didn't watch the Lego
So maybe
movie.
that's how they. I don't know. I don't know if
I
he was
didn't
in
like
the
Legos
Batman.
as a child, so I gave less than a fuck about a
Man.
Lego movie.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that now. To answer it, I didn't mind it.
You fucking wouldn't.
I didn't mind it as an entertainment factor.
Yeah.
the action was pretty good.
Yeah, it was for the most part as an entertainment value. I was entertained. I didn't find myself bored necessarily. It just kind of had enough pace where things were going on.
There was so much action in this movie.
But I also felt like that was a lot of masquerading for the poor story.
I was just like masquerading as good writing.
Yeah. So what I got from this is it's basically the Terminator meets the Thing.
No, this is an unfun version of Starship Troopers.
That
That's
actually
what this
works
is.
pretty well.
It's an unfun version of Starship Troopers. It's
But-
trying to be too serious and puts time travel in for no fucking reason.
That's why I said it's like Terminator and the Thing, because they basically take the whole time travel concept that Terminator had,
Yeah.
except they reversed it into let's bring them into the future instead. And
For
then
1
it's
week at
the
a
Thing by going into the goddamn cold Arctic in Russia
Yeah.
to find an
I
alien
suppose, yeah.
ship in the goddamn ice and then try to destroy it by blowing it up, which is exactly what happened in the Thing.
Yeah.
So I basically felt like
That's
it
why
was the Terminator
Been a long time since I watched that.
mashed up to the Thing. Now, I definitely agree with this Starship Stormtrooper, like the whole bugs colonizing
Yes,
thing. I
yeah.
do agree with the colonizing, taking over the world.
Especially
it
when
had
they
that
introduce-
feel, for
Especially when they
sure.
introduced the female as being like the important part and like all the
Yep.
like I was like,
And there was the brain bug.
motherfucker.
Is
Like-
the goddamn brain bug.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, reverse of Rain of Fire. Fucking A.
Yup.
Now,
Goddamn cocksucker fucking thing.
Just not very original. Well, what, Tim?
so you did. I'm gonna go with you, Jason, because I feel like it went from no to it was okay, whatever to I thought it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're more of like
The first
yeah.
half, like I say, I ground my
Yeah.
teeth the first
God,
half because
all
it was
them
just
terrible jokes.
it was terrible joke after trope after trope after
Yeah.
trope. And I was
After
like, Jesus
unsatisfactory
Christ.
suspense attempts.
Yeah.
How-
See, and
Did you like the suspense, Tim?
What
that they were
suspense?
what when they would go slowly down hallways, when they would the
So-
lack of when you see the things in the walls and you just see the
Yeah.
alien's toe.
So
Like, they-
it wasn't suspenseful, but I 100%.
They tried.
Yeah,
Very-
100% agree with you in the fact because it's in the music.
Oh
You
my
hear the
God,
music,
terrible.
and they are playing that eerie string of like
cliche
the
fucking
trill coming
music
up,
for all
getting
the
ready for
points.
some build kind of thing, and it's slow.
It's entirely possible. I was so angry at the film at that point. I didn't hear any music.
I definitely,
And then they had all the action music during the action parts, but
I definitely felt like that was what was driving this film was purely the music. If you didn't have any of the music, it would have probably been very. I mean, in general, music does, but you know what I'm
that's
saying.
probably why I want to say I hate the music because they've fucking relied on it so much.
So heavily
That's a good
to
point.
make a point of where they were going.
Because
in
it
the
was
film.
all just, there was the necessary choices for the music, but it wasn't original.
Yeah.
And it was the right spots and whatever. So you were going to ask me what? Sorry.
So, since you didn't like it,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to necessarily ask you what you didn't like because that's probably going to be a little much. But what was it that you actually did enjoy or what you thought was decent for the film, if there were any?
Oh, you forcing me to say a nice thing about it? This is my fault. um,
I mean, you don't have to have anything if there isn't anything.
no, it's true. I kind of.
mean, Judas has redemption qualities.
What I did like about it. Oh, J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
That's what I liked. He had the funny joke in the beginning, and then decent joke at the end. The funny joke was Stevie Nicks and whatever the fuck. It was just like that was pretty good. And then
Stevie Nicks naked for I can't remember why he asked that.
yeah, it
but
was a really weird, like out of the blue thing to say, and I loved it. And I love that guy. And
Charlie.
he was that.
That was
Oh,
his
and
name.
Charlie, his jokes. He grew on me. He was funny.
I
and
had
he was,
I had a little bit of a tough time with Charlie because he was so out of place.
He
But
was kind of
that's why I said he grew on me.
But I didn't. Yeah, I also didn't not like it. You know what I mean? Like,
he was funny, but yeah, I feel like he was pushed into the narrative and the plot
yeah,
a little too hard.
it felt really forced.
Yeah.
It definitely felt
The J.K. Simmons character was much more
a little more-
naturally included,
It
just
was-
by the few lines they give like in the beginning of that party about him.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there was no reason to care about. Was it a stepfather or was it the
It was
real
his father.
father?
It was his real father.
Yeah,
dad.
they just kind of just forced that
real
in there real quick. Like, okay, we got daddy issues, and
Yeah.
he's kind of a off the grid type of person. So you got that all real quick, and I'm glad it was J.K. Simmons to really sell that character with such lack of attention to that character and their
Right.
issues.
yeah. Dude's got to be 60 years old and he's just jacked.
Oh, I'm
Right.
pretty sure he's more than 60.
And then
Maybe,
so
but he's freaking jacked.
Oh yeah. Well, he
And
got
the other-
in really good shape for Batman, didn't he?
I don't know.
I think that was what he got in shape for, was the Batman versus Superman movie when he played Commissioner Gordon.
I mean, he's wearing a trench coat the entire time.
I don't know. I just remember seeing fucking pictures of him.
yeah,
Apparently
yeah.
he
In the
got
gym, fucking doing curls
he
and
just fucking got-
biceps and
he got
triceps. Are
fucking
just
cut.
yeah, I agree, but
and then
anyway.
Chris Pratt's character is Dan,
Dan
right?
Forrester, yeah.
Dan and his daughter when she was young. Like they're like you could tell like that's the only emotional thing I believed in this movie was you really felt like he was a good father, he loved her. She has anxiety issues or something like that, you would guess from that.
Separation anxiety almost.
Something like that. And the way he handled that moment was pretty cool. And then
Yeah.
then that's probably all I got.
yeah, the fact that she was like too smart for her own good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of
Overly
thing.
intelligent 9-year-old.
That's the way to
But
say
then again,
it.
he was a super intelligent dude himself,
Yeah.
being a science teacher on top of in the army.
Yeah.
Well, he got his doctorate
So-
or whatever. Was it a doctorate or he got some sort of degree in some sort of science?
PhD and something. Yeah.
Yeah, so his doctorate.
I don't
and
remember what it
he's
was,
teaching
but-
fucking high school biology.
I mean, he was trying to do a different job, but failed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also would say that I would have had the same reaction to that job rejection.
Kicking the
Just
garbage
beating
can
the
over.
shit out of the garbage can and be like, sorry.
Right. Aaron, what about
Yeah.
you?
So I thought, as I said, the second half of the movie kind of redeemed itself. But I thought the comedic timing and the comedic bits were funny, especially between J.K. Simmons and Charlie. I thought those two characters were very funny, and their interaction with other characters made me laugh. So I give the movie that.
Yeah.
That it had the comedic bits that made me laugh. Like I like when people try to blend in bits of comedy with an action movie. This seemed a bit over the top
Yeah.
because like even Chris Pratt, like there was just so much where like what should have been a more serious moment, like he made some sort of offhand comment and it was like, okay, well, shit on that.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah, it takes you out of it.
Yeah,
Makes you not
comedic-
care.
the comedic bits were good. Like when they had the proper comedic bits and the comedic timing, I thought they were good.
Right. I think that was one thing that definitely did not hit home was Chris Pratt is a funny guy.
Yeah.
And yet in this film, those little subtle funny parts that he was throwing in there just seemed very unnecessary and unnatural.
Yeah.
And
A lot of it had to do like it almost seemed like snark
yeah,
from him,
Yeah.
and that's not Chris Pratt's humor.
no,
Like Chris Pratt is kind of like the unassuming or almost dumb sort of like
Well, you,
banter and stuff like he kind of is one of those guys that is unaware of like how out of his depth he is, things like that. Like, when you look at Star-Lord or like Andy from fucking Parks and Rec, like it's not that he might be dumb or like he's just out of his element.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't know it.
He bounces off of what's in front of him.
Yeah.
Not I don't know, whatever this was. It definitely felt a little like it was all writing at that point, that he's having to say these things, and it just fell flat. Didn't hit his mark
for
at
sure.
my point.
This is somehow the #1 movie on Amazon right now.
Yeah.
Because
it's
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt, yeah.
I
Fucking baffling.
actually, there's several things I did enjoy and I did like about this film for sure. And one of them was the I did like the comedy, like you guys are saying as well.
There was so much of it. You have to
Yeah.
like at least a third of it.
Like,
Yeah.
one of the biggest things that I just thought was funny, even though it was 100% predictable, and every bit, was when they went to the kid in school about volcanoes.
Yeah, they shoehorned that fucking thing in early, didn't they?
That was not like, it was so predictable. It was not a surprise, but I liked Charlie's reaction.
I love this kid.
I love this. It's like, oh, I would kill to be in this position when I was younger. Like, I
that
thought
whole scene was hysterical.
Yeah, I thought that was very appropriate.
Yeah, that scene was good and predictable. But then when he got all like quickly arrogant, like laptop,
Yep,
I was like,
laptop.
"Go fuck yourself, you little bastard!"
Right.
You were being made fun of in the beginning of the movie. Now you
Yeah.
get one small moment and it goes to your fucking head.
That
I'm yelling at a kid right now. My
That's-
bad.
That scene made me forget how weirdly shoehorned in the scene was, because like when he's like, "Oh, it's from it's volcanic ash from China in Russia." How would they get that? Well, you need somebody that's an expert on volcanoes.
Oh my god.
Oh, I know somebody.
And then-
you cut to. I was like, what the
Then
fuck?
you cut to, well, we need someone that knows how to fly and do all this illegal shit. And Chris Pratt, once again, not 2 minutes later, goes, I know somebody. And they go to J.K. Simmons.
And that was
And it
one
was
of the
just
things
like-
I hated.
Yeah.
Was that it was just all forced
just
in there
checkmark
to
shit.
keep going.
It was formulaic.
Yo,
Is really what it
absolutely.
was.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
And that was really, I think, the biggest downfall of this movie is that it all followed a predetermined formula. So you could tell what was going to happen.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you didn't need to watch the movie. You could have just fucking figured it out from the first 10 minutes.
Even the relationship in the future when you find out about the daughter and stuff like that.
Fuck
That entire
whole thing.
Yeah, that entire thing was extremely
that beach scene.
extremely
fuck off.
overused. Yep. Yes.
I even put in my notes, is this really the time to have the father-daughter
Oh my
conversation?
god! Plus, there so many times in this movie, a lot of action movies, whatever, they're all like in the middle of this crazy, chaos moment, and then all of a sudden, two actors find the time just to chill and have a conversation for 5 to 10 minutes. And they do that like 4 to 6 times in this flick.
So far,
Jesus
this is the
Christ.
second film within a couple months that we've had a father-daughter talk in the wrong time.
Yeah, I mean,
Army of the Dead.
at the end of the makeshift time travel station, when it's all getting blown up and attacked by these
White claws.
White
Or
spikes.
White spikes.
White spikes.
White claws.
white
Yeah, they're refreshing, cool.
I know it sounds like a Marvel superhero villain, but
That's the trailer trash version of this, is the
Super
White Claw.
but yeah, at the end,
Sponsored by White Claw.
when their station's getting destroyed, everything's on fire. They sit down, and when she's like dying, and like they just talk for like 3 to 5 minutes,
got to meet you.
and then it's like
I just wanted you to
they
see.
finished their conversation. Yeah, I know, it was so dumb. The
Yeah.
writing was so boring.
Also,
And-
when she fell and slipped,
Oh my god!
I had now. First of all, I really did like that image. It totally reminded me of so many cliche paintings.
remember
Oh, it
and-
looked great.
Yes, and that was
Yeah.
exactly the one I
CGI
thought was
looked great.
Constantine.
Yeah.
Was all the demons coming up,
Yeah.
trying to grab him, because it was a total Constantine, and I thought
Yeah.
but I thought it was a really cool shot.
This whole movie's shot really well, I
It
feel
looks
most
good
part.
for
For the
the
most
action.
part.
Looks good.
Now, but when she slides and then he just dives after her, I'm just like,
Dude, that's not your point. You just discussed like you have to stop this from happening.
yeah.
You need to take that glass vial and stop falling because it's gonna fucking break in your pocket.
Right.
I don't understand.
I'm gonna.
and then after he slips the hand, he fucking jumps at her, obviously knowing he's gonna jump or time jump.
I'm gonna.
Oh,
I'm gonna get real upset in a minute here when we talk about when he jumps back to the past, because I got some words about that.
isn't that just
Let's hear
unnecessary?
it.
All these
Okay.
emotional moments never once hit at all.
Okay,
Except for the
this is my problem with him blipping back to the past. Okay, first of all, I thought it fucking, of course, he in the middle of trying to grab at his daughter, he fucking shoots back to the past.
Yep.
That I saw it, and I was like, yep, all right.
Yep.
He
Knew that was
falls
where they're
onto the
going.
ground on his chest. Somehow does not break that fucking vial.
I said the same
my
thing.
God. Same with when she had it. She fell so many times.
Secondly, they're like, he's like, you gotta mass produce this, and like, oh, the link is dead. Like, we can't do it. You're in the past. What the fuck part of this is not doable? This whole movie,
His
the
whole-
second half was stupid because they could have just fucking mass produced it
Yep.
and had it ready to fucking roll.
It was such a waste of our time. And this whole emotional connection, it's like you're not listening to your daughter. That's a fucking genius. And she told you this is a fucking waste of time. This world is done. We are done. You need to prevent it. It is
Yeah.
that fucking simple. You and I can get along because you're going to save my life. And I told you how you're going to die. And you're obviously not going to become an alcoholic and leave my motherfucking mom. And then not in a goddamn car crash. And then we can blah, blah, blah. His stupid little fucking thing at the end. Oh, that was dumb.
Did he slip into hip-hop for a minute there?
I think he did.
His little speech at the end was so fucking
Jason
terrible.
just went on a rap.
Oh,
Oh.
fuck me, run it. The whole and I'll say, I said it before. The second half redeemed itself. Like, it was fun to watch, but like, you had to get past that whole vial part because I was so mad. I was
Oh,
like,
I'm so happy you guys
what
brought
the
it up because
fuck?
that's all I could think about. It's like that isn't a fragile container.
That 20-minute span was like, this whole area, fuck the rest of the movie.
See, and I said the same thing when he fell and he fell on his hand.
So,
Now,
yeah, it
Yeah.
fell on his chest.
I was like, oh, okay, so 10 feet. I'm pretty sure he would have probably broken that. And it did
Yep.
sound like he would have broken it too because you hear this clink or whatever.
not,
but
not only the
either
vial,
way,
he'd have broken his
Unless
hand.
30 years from now they got the most durable glass that we'll ever fucking see.
But
Right.
here's
But it
the
clinked.
thing. Here's
So,
the
yeah.
thing here's the thing. I'm like, okay, what? Was when they tried to take it out of his hand. He's like, "Where's the vial?"
Yeah.
He's, oh, we tried to take it out of your hand, but we couldn't get it. And then he looks like, oh, and it's right there, and he's moving his hand, and he squeezes. I'm like, okay,
That
so
would
you,
crush it as well.
So you didn't feel that your hand was there with the vial
Also,
in your hand,
if
and
he's-
yet then you're squeezing it, knowing that it's there, and you feel it.
If he's
Like they were
fucking
trying to sell you on
sedated
some
or
subconscious shit.
if he's fucking sedated or unconscious, there's no way they couldn't have gotten that vial from
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, and if
Yeah.
he's squeezing
That
it
whole-
that tight, that fucking
You would probably have broken it.
Yeah.
military people. Yeah, yes.
So stupid.
So
And it was green ooze from Ninja Turtles.
No, it was clear. The ooze from Ninja Turtles wasn't clear.
Was clear.
no, it wasn't.
The,
Ninja
stuff
Turtles
from the Ninja
ooze-
Turtles wasn't clear.
Yeah, it was like
It looked like slime,
goop.
but like-
Yeah, it was like
Yeah, that's
slime
what I'm
because that's what it
saying.
was. It was slime.
In this
Yeah.
movie, Tomorrow War,
It's a green
It
liquid.
was like
It's
Kool
clear
Aid.
green liquid.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
Kool Aid. It's
Alright,
like a green
fine.
icy.
Yeah. Like
Um,
lime jello.
ectoplasm.
Ecto-
Yeah.
That's
darker
still
than
thick.
Ecto Cooler.
All right. Anyways, my shit failed.
We're getting on the finer points of that.
That's what we do. We nitpick. I
Okay, I'm glad you guys brought that up too, because
yeah, that part pissed me
Um,
off more than anything else.
not to bring that back up, but what do you guys think about the creature design?
that's actually what I was just about to ask.
I actually
Because,
thought
what do
they
you think of the
were.
creature?
I thought they were cool. Like I thought they were scary. Like
Yeah.
used properly, they were scary.
Especially when you first got to see him in that hallway when he actually shines the light up. And
Yeah.
you see it.
Yeah.
Like,
That was a
oh,
nice.
that's a lot more terrifying
especially
than
when
I
the
thought.
when the tentacle that shoots the spikes comes out. Like that, I was like, what the fuck is
What
that?
the fuck
Right.
is
I
that?
thought that
'Cause,
was a
like,
nice
you
You
touch.
see the spikes just before then all in the
Oh, yeah, you see
wall
them
and
all
shit,
over
and
the
you're
place.
Exactly.
Where
I
are
thought that was
those?
pretty cool.
Yeah.
like, so
Their build up to it, and then the whole ceiling thing. I'm like, hurry up! I know I'm about to see it, and then I was like, okay, this is pretty fucking sweet, actually. And yeah, their tentacles were like snakes on top of a werewolf type of, or
I mean, they ran on all
werewolf?
fours. So.
I don't know. I was trying to. It was like a. I don't know. They added
It's-
snakes to something.
it's
What would
very
you?
animalistic.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, well, they ran on all fours, especially at the end when you see them in the spaceship. Like they're cargo. They're not the aliens running the ship.
Right. They got
Right.
Cattle.
Yeah, they're
Breeding
basically
for war or
like they're
whatever, yeah.
animals.
To jump forward because this is something I was kind of interested, and I was also like, okay, how are they going to pull it off? And I was a little bit disappointed, yet I was actually kind of satisfied at the same time. I don't really know how I feel. When they go into the Arctic and they find a ship, my first instinct was, there's no way these fucking creatures built this ship.
Yeah.
So I'm
Well,
like,
exactly.
So
that
I'm
was my
glad
thought. I was like, how the fuck?
I'm glad they
right?
added that they're sheep or whatever.
yeah. So
Cattle.
when they,
Cattle.
because when they went in there, once again, my whole thing is, these fucking creatures did not create
They
this
didn't
ship.
create it.
Yeah.
They didn't fly it.
I had the
they
whole
can't even
problem
talk.
with that because in the thing, it's the same goddamn thing I said about the thing. How did this fucking goo like creature substance,
Yeah, organism.
do this?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
once again, it's nitpicking, whatever.
Or proper
But-
storytelling.
Well, but then that's where I was like, oh, they get in the cockpit and there's that dangling figure, and
Yeah.
and
That,
I was
that
like,
weird alien, like, oh, it's
yeah.
because you see the hand. That's what really
I
made
was
me
happy
go,
to see that. Yeah.
yeah. And once again, I was like satisfied, but I was like, that was all that we got. Okay, and I was a little disappointed because I'm like, I kind of really wanted a better picture. They
Yeah.
didn't show
They-
much of that thing at all.
They honestly kind of set up, like, in that respect, they set up like a little bit of like an ability to make a sequel or a prequel where you get
Oh,
to
I
see.
hope they don't.
I do too. I hope.
Oh,
I hope
no.
they don't, but it adds the ability to,
Yeah.
like, because you get the idea that, like, those aliens that are bringing them, like, you don't know what they were doing because they talk about like, oh, what were they like? Were they, was Earth the target, or did it just crash
yeah,
here?
they
Or, like,
crashed.
Yeah, they
It was like,
crashed.
well,
Like,
what's to
you
say
know,
it wasn't the target? Yeah.
They make some points that like just open up the ability to make another movie.
I also kind of like that he was dangling from the ceiling. I thought
Yeah.
that was kind of a unique take because,
He was frozen too, right? Or it.
well, they were in the Arctic or
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Russia,
And
so-
and they put together that ship had been there for thousands of years.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
they- at that point, decay and stuff had set in between the cold and shit like that.
but they didn't really show any of this alien, this cockpit creature.
No, they
Yeah.
focus on the.
You saw the face and the hand. That was
And,
about
and
it.
even then it was blurry or as far back. So I
Yeah.
was like, because it kind of looked a little more like lizardy. And
Yeah.
like I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
it did.
that face kind of reminds me of like, I don't know, Enemy Mine a little bit.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I feel you.
Just
Yeah.
white, just an albino version.
Yeah.
That was, I don't know, that was my big thing. And then you see the aliens and stuff like that. Now, what did you feel when they walked in there? How did you feel about that whole? There was like 6 on one side, 6 on one side, and then you had the mother or the female
I
or
kept
whatever.
yelling, "Stop lollygagging! Fucking shoot those 5! Don't fucking talk about it. Shoot them other ones. Of course they're gonna wake up and fucking attack you, and it's gonna
I
become
didn't
a big
understand
ordeal."
why they didn't, like, when it was clearly stated in the earlier part, like the female is the important part.
Why didn't
Why
they do that
didn't
one
they stick
first?
her first?
I said the exact same. Why aren't they going to the female first? Why are they doing these ones? And they
You
all
know
did
what-
it
You know
together.
what I figured it out. They still had a half an hour of a movie left.
They did.
Oh my
They did.
god!
Yep.
God,
I
damn it.
also 100%. I'm like, why are you talking about this right now? Go to the other side, stick them too, and then find out what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Because, yeah,
I-
if the female's gone, the males don't fucking matter.
And then
true.
obviously, yeah, they're supposed to be fucking military, fucking smart strategy.
yeah, one of them's got a
strategic
fucking
bullshit.
doctorate. Some of them should be smart enough to figure that out.
Yes, obviously, kill the mother or the female first, and then
but here's the thing that
as a military.
I actually
strategic
enjoyed because I
person.
was like, oh, was when you realize that it wasn't just them. Because at first they were like, that's all that they saw was those 6
Yeah, yeah.
and then those other 6 and that whatever. But then like later on, they're like, there's not just it's a whole colony. My mind was a little bit blown because I was like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
There was like
Colony implies a
thousands.
lot.
yeah,
thousands. I'm like, holy shit.
So,
I thought that was kind of impressive because at that moment I was like, oh fuck.
so here's my other
Just
thought.
imagining that.
they
Here's
just
my
like
other thought.
tacked it on to give the what?
Oh, sorry. My other thought was Saul started in Russia. The female is in Miami at the point in the future.
Yeah,
Because they go to Miami.
I don't think it was
And
in
if-
Miami where the where they were caging it. I think that was
Either
in
way,
Russia.
it's a long. They fly on helicopters. You can't fly to Russia.
But they
from Miami to the
they went
helicopter.
away from that because when they left Miami, they went to the Dominican Republic, and then I think they went to Russia.
Dominican's really close to Miami.
It is that, but that was where they were on the base, and then they had left
To the nest.
to where the mother was. They
Yeah.
didn't really give you a time. They just kind of jumped to
I don't
the
know.
next scene. But
From what I can tell,
the trees is what it wasn't Miami because of the trees.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I was like, why is it there's only one female covering the entire world?
That was
I
interesting.
thought
too.
there
Anyone
was-
else
I
not
thought-
have a problem with the fact
I-
there's only one fucking female?
I wasn't sure about that. I obviously angry, not paying close attention. But I thought there was more females, and they just found one that they could get their hands on to get the toxic goo, green stuff.
I don't really
I
recall.
guess
if
they
they
really
said
didn't
that.
really.
I don't know if
they
they-
really didn't expound on that. I guess.
Yeah, I don't remember her saying this is the only female. This is this.
This is the only one,
One
they
of the-
found, I guess.
Yeah, one of the females
I know.
because
I
and then
latched
they
onto
just
that
talked
pretty
about
hard.
their. Yeah,
Because they were talking about like, oh, we haven't been able to
And-
find a thing that goes against whatever, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
and females are hard to come by or whatever. So they,
All right, I'll
and it
give
was
that
stuck
away.
in a hole, and they were like, yeah.
Yeah,
And that whole tackling, taking down that female was just like, you guys don't know what you're doing.
The whole cave, that whole tunnel thing was just
Okay.
ridiculous to
Oh.
me.
The first
God.
half of this movie, like after Chris Pratt is transported to the future, which by the way, everything that happened in the first half of this movie was me like, of course it does. Like
Mhm.
the time travel malfunctioning, I went, of course.
I didn't like how they started at that point the way they did. I was like, oh, that's just cliche. But I did like how I did like the fall.
Yeah.
Because they just said, oh, you're gonna land 10 feet,
5 or
in-
10 feet. Yeah, and then
in
everybody's
the air.
falling from the
and
fucking
it's just
sky.
fucking falling from the sky. And the fact that you see all these people just hitting buildings and bouncing up, I'm like,
Yeah.
no wonder these fuckers are dying.
Yeah. Well, they said that something
That's what I was
malfunctioned.
trying-
Yeah,
Like,
but
yeah.
I did kind of
I'm
like.
sure that happened a lot.
that was just one of those beats where I was like, fucking, and I saw so many things in that first hour. I was like, of course you did.
Yeah.
The fact that she was his daughter, of course it
Yeah.
was.
Of course, yeah.
Him fighting
that
the
one.
one with an axe, of course he does, because it's Chris Pratt. He's a Marvel superstar. You got to make him look like a superhero for about 10 minutes.
Yeah,
of the
that
movie.
axe part
Also-
pissed me off.
Also, what also
Fuck
pissed
that.
me off
The only thing I liked about that axe part is that he missed with the down
Yeah,
thrust,
that
and then
was
he
a
caught
nice
her
touch.
with the up one.
with the
That I
spike.
thought was funny. at
and
least.
the angry dude slide and shotgun. He's like, shoot the belly, idiot.
Now that was what pissed me off. I'm like, okay, nobody had this information.
Yes, they did.
Right
they
away.
said
Yes,
it.
they did.
They said it, but everyone's going for
in the
headshots
fucking
because no
gun
one's paying
intro, they're
attention.
like neck and stomach. Those are the weak points.
Yep.
Nobody did it.
They said it in the brief.
They even Chris Pratt's character, who's military trained,
All
was
headshot.
fucking up. He was wasting ammo.
Yep.
Yeah. This
He
is
was
what
just
happens when you
fucking
train
unloading.
people
Even-
for less than a week to do a week's worth of work against these things.
Even
No one understands training.
But
Yeah.
he's the soldier guy. He's the guy
Right.
with the history and
But he's also
supposedly.
15 years out of the military.
Oh, is it that long?
Yeah.
But it
He
doesn't
was- yeah.
matter if they say shoot the abdomen and the whatever.
Shoot him in the fucking abdomen.
It's
That's
that
why.
simple.
That's why a 3-round burst was a big thing. Is because you have a
conserve
multitude of
ammo.
shot, but you reserve your ammo, so you're not just
Yeah.
fucking unloading and then missing. You have a little bit more of a okay, do
Yeah.
kind of thing.
It's called suppressive fire.
But that's what pissed me off. I was like, where was all this information that they were supposed to be fucking following in the midst of everything?
why was
Charlie
Captain-
talked over it. It was the joke.
Why
Yeah.
was Captain Cancer fucking carrying a shotgun? Those are useless from far away.
I don't know if it was. I mean,
It
he
was
may,
a shotgun. He cocked it.
but he may have a multi
pump
like,
action
you know what I mean?
shotgun.
He may have.
Unless he had slugs in there, which I guess is possible, but like
I don't know.
he had a shotgun versus everyone else had a fucking
Captain
AK.
Cancer,
Like,
who is this?
The
he was the guy with
main
the claw.
guy.
He- he's
who's-
the one who's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I don't
and
remember
then-
his
I'm gonna
name.
die
guy-
my way.
Yeah, it's, oh
Right.
my god, I was gonna bring him up
Fuck
next.
that guy.
It starts with
His
an R, I think.
conversations were so dumb and boring. Like the
I had a
not,
problem with that.
not
that
him.
character.
but like the topics they brought up and like how they finished and never really got to a point. They like just talked in circles
Yep.
about saving friends, like going out of your way to
Yeah.
keep people alive. What's the point? And I'm gonna die the way I want to. And
Yeah.
I had a
Oh.
problem with that
For
that
one thing,
guy.
fuck that guy in general. Oh, don't save your friends. I'm dying anyway. What the fuck is the point?
Oh, that was his thing. That's something I missed. He had cancer.
Yeah,
He had
cancer. So he was
cancer.
gonna die.
Oh.
That's why he was
Yeah.
doing like tour after tour, because he had cancer. He's like, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die in my way. That's why he yells it at the
Oh.
end when he blows the fucking ship up.
That was so dumb.
Yeah, I
Fuck that
And
guy. He
killed-
deserved it.
I didn't like that guy, especially because he didn't hold to his guns at all. Especially when Chris Pratt comes up, he's like, "Yeah, you do." He's like, "No, I don't." "Yeah, you do." And I'm like, "Oh God."
Can't
Maybe
stop
I
a guy.
do.
Can't not help a guy for trying to save his daughter.
I don't know.
Fuck this
I had a problem with that because he was supposed to be that resistance, and it wasn't very
What?
resistant.
Him and his friends were all like, don't save other people. Like, you got to look out for yourself. They all fucking died
Yep.
right away.
Yep.
Because he blew him up.
Well, no.
No, they died in the
they
first
died in
wave
the
thing,
first,
like the first time they
in
go
the
into the
Miami
future.
area.
Oh yeah.
They died.
The bald chick he was with, the other guy,
Then he was trying to
dead.
be sad about it by sitting there staring at the coffin cases.
Yeah, so that was the other thing. I'm like, it's like where he's like, "Oh, where's everybody at?" And he was like, "Right here." And he's like, "They all died." And he's like, "That's what happens when you try to save your friend." Nobody said you had to help. They could have easily have left.
Oh, yeah.
That was their mentality the whole time. Don't save your friend. But what did they do? They stuck around. That's on them.
Yep.
So yeah, don't fucking blame somebody else for
'Cause
your actions.
The only person that like was identified as military trained was Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
None of those other ones had any sort of like noted military training, so there's no reason for them to feel any sort of loyalty
Obligation.
to the unit.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, so they could have literally just gone off on their own as a trio and made it back to whatever jump point they needed to.
Now, one thing I did like about Chris Pratt's acting for this was very appropriate, given that he's been in a military movie. He was in 30, what was it? Zero Dark, maybe? Is that the one? Or 30 something?
Zero Dark 30?
Yeah, I think he was in that movie.
Never saw
maybe
it.
maybe it wasn't that one, but it was one of those kind of military films that came out right around the same time.
I mean, Zero Dark 30 is about the ones that killed Bin Laden.
And I
so-
think that was the one I thought.
Okay.
But Chris Pratt was in
Fuck if I would've
in the military movie, so he had the kind of training and stuff. So it was very believable for what he was doing, and I thought he did it pretty convincingly. Like I would
I
believe.
kept going back and forth on it, but yeah.
I kept believing like this
If it
guy probably could have really been in the military, and he could have like
Oh,
been
yeah.
commanding, because I thought it was pretty smooth. Now, like I said, that's what I liked about Chris Pratt's acting. But that was really the only time I actually really believed his character
Yeah.
was in that moment where he's taking charge, trying to help
Yeah.
everything else. Everything else was just kind of
Well, he
not-
seemed like a blase sort of fucking
Yeah.
high school science
Yeah.
teacher.
even, oh my God, even the end of the film, man, when they're fighting the mom or the female or whatever. I just want to call it the mom because I
Their
don't know. what
boss
else
fight. Oh my god.
Yeah, the
it went
boss
on
fight was
forever.
ridiculous. JK's like, "I'm sorry," and he cuts his hand, and then he just tackles him, and
Yeah, it's like, how did you jump that high?
Again,
You're
like,
in snow.
This is Chris Pratt. You got to let him look like a superhero for at least 10 or 20 minutes
and
of the
he,
movie.
he fucking snipes him with a snowmobile too out of the blue,
Right.
which was the same move as the jumping on the thing and cutting its throat. It's just like from the side of the screen, you know.
Yep.
It's just fucking
the only
formulaic, like you said.
only thing about that whole ending fight scene that I thought was okay was when they all plopped down. J.K. Simmons like, "Did
Yeah.
you just
I
tell
was
it to
gonna-
die."
did you tell
That
her-
was my
You couldn't have told
second-
her sooner?
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's like, yes, I did. You couldn't have said it sooner.
that's what I said.
And then
Those two
Charlie
jokes.
pops down out of nowhere.
Yeah, he just
that
comes out
was
of
nice.
nowhere. He's like,
Let's just take a
"Yeah, let's
rest."
just take a rest. Let's take a break."
I was like, oh,
I
yeah.
did think that was funny, but that was the only thing that I was like, okay, I like
the rest of that fucking
Yeah.
fight
That was
scene
it.
was dog shit.
Unfortunately, I have to agree that as much as I love J.K. Simmons and I liked him in here
He
and
was
seeing
too
him,
good for this movie.
it was they shoehorned it, as I'm using Aram's because it's very appropriate. His character, he was unnecessary.
Yeah.
Other than creating a dynamic that we didn't actually get a full sense of dynamic for because we
Yeah.
didn't need it.
We
You know,
Do you
we
know
didn't
the
need
two?
to know.
Do you know the two characters that weren't shoehorned in that were necessary to the plot line? Chris Pratt and his daughter.
Yeah,
Everybody else unnecessary.
that's how I felt too.
yeah.
And I will say that the one I got a slight emotional tug was when he goes to tell his daughter that he's got to go away for a week or whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't Chris Pratt or anything. It was literally the little girl.
That's what I was
Yeah,
trying
And
to say.
how
yeah.
she was like, that was solid. That was some good acting.
Yeah,
right
those
there.
are those father-daughter moments that
Yep.
I said I
But when
liked.
she was
was
a full-grown adult, I didn't care.
I was
I-
oddly moved when he was like, "Your mom would have been proud of you," and I was like, "Okay."
Oh my god, I was not a fan of the daughter as an older.
Oh yeah, no,
in
she's
the
a
future
bitch.
when she was giving the orders, didn't believe her. When she was trying to be badass and didn't believe her. Oh my god.
You mean when she
It-
repels down to fucking help cage the queen
Yeah,
or the
just-
the
So-
female?
So maybe it was just
Queen,
me,
whatever.
but anybody else think that if Chris Pratt had even an inkling of like singleness in him, he would have probably tried to hit on her?
he definitely would have hit on her
Because like
right
the way he
away.
brought up, the way he
It was-
came up
it
to
was-
her, it felt like it was
it
gonna be
was
like,
that
hey,
close.
good looking, and then you find out it's
Because I was
daughter.
like, Chris, don't you do it.
yep,
You're,
Yep.
This is not going to turn out well.
You mean how Chris Pratt just came up dick swinging?
Yep.
And was like, "Hey, how's it going?"
basically
Pretty
that's
much.
how I felt. Like
Yeah.
at that instant,
Yeah.
that's
I hate
how
to
I
say
felt.
it, but yeah, that's how it looked
Oh,
on
your
the
name is
film.
Forrest too, and then I was like, wait a minute, do you spell with one R?
That whole fucking bit. Fuck those writers, because
Right.
Yeah.
I swear to
There's only
Christ.
one writer. I think
No,
you need some help.
even worse.
Yeah.
Fuck that writer.
Need a script
You
doctor
felt
is
that
what
was
I've
a
been
good
hearing.
enough bit to put in the fucking movie to make Chris Pratt sound like such a fucking moron who's got an PhD that he's got to ask 30 fucking questions before he figures out that's his goddamn daughter.
Right. Yeah.
And then the
I-
whole suspense thing, they like, oh, you're here for a reason, but I'm not going to tell you. I'll tell you when it's time. They fucking hold on to that for like 15 minutes. Then all of a sudden they have the beach scene, and it's like, why the fuck did you even make me wait for this? Just fucking get to the. You should have got to the point.
The whole thing about like her like coming with a solution, she's like, he was like, do you have a plan? He's like, I have a solution. And I was like, she's got a fucking suicide run. That's what she's got. Like,
So this writer is only written for 3 things,
oh,
and
please share.
and and the Tomorrow War is one of them. Is the third one.
Yeah.
24 Hours to Live. Never heard of it. And
Oh, that-
Deadfall, which is I've heard of Deadfall with Eric Bana. Never seen it.
24 hours to live.
At least I think it's Eric Bana. Maybe it's not Eric.
24 hours to live. Now I gotta look that movie up because like,
Yeah, no, it's Eric Bana and Olivia Wilde and Charlie Hannon,
Hunnam
the English guy.
from
Either way.
Sons of Anarchy.
Either so, and then also a cliche trope thing. All the fucking like, you have 6 minutes to get out of there because we're gonna bomb that place.
Yeah, that 6 minutes was up long ago.
6 minutes, 20 minutes later, you just got 4 minutes to go.
They're
Also-
like, you got 30 seconds or
also-
3 minutes, and then all of a sudden they're just
Yeah.
slowly moving down
He's
the
like,
stairwell.
You gotta make it quick, get out of there. But I was like, don't run into red smoke.
They
That's
run
exactly
directly.
where they ran into. And when it came out,
I felt
now
like that was
anybody
a
else,
joke.
anybody else think when they were running out of the red smoke with this smirk of grins, this fucking
Yeah.
asinine grin of, oh, we've saved it. It looked like they were coming out of like the Special Olympics.
Someone should print this fucking script off and beat the writer to death with it.
I seriously was like, these guys
And
are
then they-
smiling like a bunch of fucking
Because
idiots.
they
Like
really
won.
thought the white spikes weren't going to tackle the vehicles.
Right.
Of course they were going to.
Which is
Jesus.
also the other thing that pissed me off is when Chris Pratt went and fucking tackled, what is it? The female or whatever. These fuckers
At
on
the
their
end?
own, yeah.
Yeah.
These fuckers on their own. It's supposed to be the biggest one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
These
she's-
fuckers on their own, the little males, could take down an entire Humvee
Yeah,
with no problem. They
Yeah.
fucked
Bill,
that shit
they're the
up.
size of what I can tell. From what I can tell, they're the size of a buffalo,
Yeah.
Fair
if
enough,
not
yeah.
bigger.
And then when they hit people, you felt that impact in this movie.
Yeah.
I'll give it to them. When they got hit by those
That
snake
one
tentacles,
guy tried to
fuck
fucking like
yeah.
shut the door, and the door
Yeah.
just pops off. And that guy just bounces off the wall.
That was one of the moments where I was like, I see this coming and I want it to happen. And
Oh,
it
yeah.
did. It's like, you fucking moron. Why'd you even, you should have, you had a better chance
Just-
trying to run away, even though you would have
And
died.
I
anyway.
love that, like, oh yeah, the trope of like, oh, it's happening sooner. You got to go now. You don't get to train anymore.
Yep. Yeah.
And then everybody's there, and Civi's fucking
They
just
kept-
dying left
That's why
and
I
right.
brought up the 6 minute thing, because I felt like they kept using that, like, it's like that Resident Evil self destruction timer at the
Yeah.
end of every game.
Yeah.
They fucking used it like 3 or 4 times.
All right. now,
24 Hours to Live is with Ethan Hawke.
yep,
apparently.
I did see that,
I didn't
but I
know
still
that.
never heard of it.
Me neither.
So
It sounds terrible.
here's also the other thing. So we talked about the visuals a little bit. Like some of the scenes look pretty good. I thought the visuals were like okay.
I thought it looked good.
The whole like wormhole thing when they opened
Oh,
the
that purple
wormhole,
cloud
yeah,
when they came in the soccer
the
field.
raft.
I thought it looked pretty good. And then it just completely got destroyed when you started sucking people up.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is this?
And it was
Yep.
very loud and obnoxious. with all
I
the-
just felt like they were slightly being risen up by wires because that's exactly what they were. But I just,
It was
was
pretty
terrible.
fucking
It
terrible.
was so
Like, it
cheesy.
looked
It was
for a
so
minute. I
terrible.
looked. I was like, this looks like the Rapture.
now
Yeah.
my mind
It looked
also.
better in the Danny or the fucking World's End movie or whatever that comedy was.
Oh, yeah, right? Was the Rapture? Yeah.
This is the end.
yeah.
So my mind also broke and poked hole at that and went to the whole Star Trek conundrum about teleporting.
Beam me up,
Beaming
Scotty.
up. And the whole Star Trek thing, they basically break your particles down and rebuild you, right?
Yes.
You mean like Wonka Vision?
what? Did you say Wanda or Wonka?
Wonka.
So,
Like from Willy Wonka.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
when he makes
yeah.
Wonka
Oh.
Vision, you breaks
Yeah.
him down and broadcasts.
So technically, in that scenario, in that situation, which I guess you can go online and get all nerded out by this, you no longer exist because it's basically
Yes.
a copy of what.
There's a
the
moment
rebuild.
when you're all separated.
Yep, so-
That's that moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking thing in this.
Mhm.
And I was just like, my mind went to that whole bullshit. And I just was like, oh, so you broke it down to go into the future. Now, don't even get me started on time travel
Mhm.
theories and shit because this completely just went, we don't really care.
Right.
Oh, the whole thing where he's like, I'm gonna take this toxin back to the past, and I'm gonna come back and save you. He's like, do you not understand that if you bring that back, you negate this whole
Yep.
fucking future?
That's exactly what I said.
That's the plan.
She told him that.
I was also, but here's the other thing I thought was stupid from right away. Before we even got the them moving into the, it was like the first 15 minutes of the film or whatever, when they were talking about the
Chris
futures.
Pratt is the dumbest man with a
drafting.
PhD I've ever met.
When they were drafting people, they're like, "Oh, we just need more bodies, so we're gonna draft you." It was like, and then they were talking about something about I don't fucking remember. We should be sending people in. Okay, so you're concerned about the future, like, oh, these are our daughters and our nieces and our grandchildren that we have to save, right? If you go into the future and die, you don't have grandchildren unless you already had them before you left, which some people probably didn't.
Unless you already had a child before you left.
Yeah, you would have had to have a child, but that doesn't set anything in stone.
Mhm.
So basically, you could go into the future, die, and then you no longer have anything to care about because you weren't able to do it. I was like, that is a stupid thing to do, is go back into the past and bring past people to the future because if you all wipe them out, the world doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And they're just taking bodies.
I love that people are like, I love the one lady was like, why don't we just go to an earlier time in the war? And they're like, oh, well, that's not how this works. Well, fucking figure it out.
Right, Charlie was like, just make more rafts.
Yeah, I did like that. It's like, so we got these two. Why don't you just make more? I did like that. I was like, that actually is a
That's kind of when
kind
Charlie
of a
started
smart-ass
winning me
thing,
over.
but
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm using logic.
When
yeah,
they were
and
like,
then they're
oh, we.
chicken wire. And,
Chicken, yeah, I was
chicken
like,
wire
oh,
and gum.
they makeshift barely made a time thing.
and yet they're abusing it.
Yeah.
They're using this fucking
Just a
thing
bunch
like
of
it's gonna
idiots
run
not
out of
knowing
batteries.
What the fuck they're doing?
And they're like, we
Because
gotta
that
get it
lady's the
soon,
smartest
soon,
person
soon.
in the world. That means she's surrounded by a bunch of
anybody
fucking
else-
idiots.
Did
And
anybody
what
else?
was the point of the dude that's in love with her having the conversation with Chris or with Dan?
Oh, her second in command is
yeah,
like, oh, I
that
come down
was
to look
a
to see if she
waste
needs
of
help
a
all the
fucking.
time.
That was a waste of time.
Yeah.
That could have saved me 7 minutes out of this 2-hour and 7-minute movie.
Also, the whole like sedating thing. Oh, we gotta sedate her every day? No, every hour.
Yeah.
You would not miss that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You'd
so-
have fucking alarms.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And the lab thing. Oh my god.
So, all right. So, okay.
This
let's
may
calm
be
down.
the movie that
I know.
kills
I
us.
know. Pre-banter.
I feel like my
was
heart's
like,
gonna
we
pump
need
out of
to
my
stop.
chest.
We need to stop yelling, and I'm the one yelling the most. I'm sorry. I'm being a-
You brought your hip hop out. So you were You're
Slipped
fueled.
into verse.
So, all right, what's going on, Tim?
So overall, there's a lot of problems with this film.
Yeah,
I
Understatement.
still was entertained.
true.
I
The
went-
pacing of the movie is good. I feel
it was, but I also felt like I think Jason said this before is you have to do it because the audience's attention is there.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this was what I hate about this film so much, purely just for today's audience.
Well, that's what I mean. Like in the first hour,
Yeah.
everything is thrown at you so quick, and it's trope after trope after trope, expected. Like it's nothing is new. It's everything you can call the next scene from the previous scene.
Yep.
Like my first 7 notes are all, of course this happened. Of course this
Yeah.
happened.
They don't, and we talked about this before, is they didn't allow you to work at anything.
No, they
They
fed you
literally
with a
fed you
spoon.
everything. That was what I had a problem with. That was the only reason why I would honestly say that I would probably never watch this movie again, and I wouldn't recommend to anybody. And it's on that crap list of films.
Yeah,
Even though
most definitely.
I enjoyed it as an entertainment value.
There's
I-
a lot better mindless entertainment
Yes,
movies out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I,
most
I
definitely.
will never watch this again.
I may
yeah.
have not been bored because they didn't allow me to be bored. They
Right.
basically just kept flashing shit at me to go, oh, here, look at this. Pretty
Even-
light, pretty light, pretty light.
even-
Squirrel. Bird. Like,
Even the fucking
I
Michael
hated
B.
that.
Jordan, also an Amazon Prime movie, No Remorse, was similar shit, but that story 10 times better than this
Yeah.
one and more entertaining. I'd watch that one before I'd watch this one, and it's not even my style of movie.
so now that we've got a rant on,
Yeah,
we've kind of
I feel I like.
alleviated some stress.
Yeah, I
Jason and
feel,
I have
Tension.
both screamed into our microphones a couple times.
I think we're about 10 years younger now.
ooh,
Or older, one of them.
Or older. One of us. Yeah, I don't know.
10 pounds lighter.
You didn't take a bathroom break.
Shit.
Let's go into the rating.
Ooh,
Jason,
uh,
first, before you rate, was this worse or better than Good on Paper?
God damn it. It's the same.
No, I'm not going
It's
to
a-
accept that.
It's because it's a movie. No, I don't. It's worse. I'm gonna go 1.5, and I gave Good on Paper 2. I
Yep.
think. Yeah, it's because too many jokes, too much, and then every single emotional connection attempt missed. Did not connect with. Even the J.K. Simmons, the resolution of this movie, when you can meet your
Second
grandfather
chances,
now.
kind of thing, yeah.
And then they try to slow motion hug. I'm like, I'm pretty sure the kid's too smart just to run up and be like, I've been waiting forever for this.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that fell flat. Just to give you an example.
Like if it was my son, he would have hid behind me.
yeah, exactly. That's
Your
Your
not
like-
son hides behind you when he sees me.
Right? That's what I'm
Yeah.
getting at. He would,
And he sees me all the time.
yeah. So yeah, the emotional shit, the comedy, the action did look good. The CGI was well done.
So that's basically your 1.5 right there is
Yeah.
CGI and action.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the dialogue is shit. The conversation is garbage.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I might as well stop talking because I'm sure
Just
Aaron will
fucking
say
fuel back up.
similar things.
Oh, I thought we burnt this fire down, but nope, somebody threw some more
Son of a
gasoline on it.
bitch. Good on paper, at least I had the Margaret Cho, Eliza Schlesinger repartee. Like their back and forth was good, so I could at least be okay with that. The comedic bits in this movie were funny. Otherwise, this movie is a travesty on every level.
I like that.
It really, I don't know what Amazon was thinking when they pushed it out, other than the fact that they wanted someone to pay attention to them for a while. So I'm actually gonna copy Jason, and well, maybe not copy Jason because I'm gonna give it a 1. And I'd sooner slam my dick in a sliding glass door than watch this movie again. Yeah, that's about all I got for it because honestly, I can't give this movie any more energy.
Holy shit. I don't like the way you said that. Now I feel bad for yelling. And it's like, you fucker. You didn't deserve any of that passion. So yeah, I like the way you said that.
I definitely battled with this film because, like I said, I was entertained for the entertainment value of it, but it was kind of forced upon me anyway. I thought the visuals, I thought like the creatures were cool.
Yeah.
You know, I was actually thoroughly impressed with the creatures.
Shot well, yeah.
Especially because
And when they scream, it's believable as
right,
fuck.
but they didn't use a lot of CGI for most of the in face stuff. They actually went like animatronics and stuff.
Okay.
So I thought it was
actually,
really
okay.
cool. Yeah, because like I saw something on Chris Pratt's Instagram because I follow him. He's like, "Oh, it's like, did you have to stare at a ball the entire time?" And it shows the actual model, like the actual creature.
Well, that explains why the skull is so, I don't know, realistic.
yeah.
I guess.
I mean, obviously
Yeah.
they had a lot of CGI for
it
sure.
seemed hardened,
Can't,
but yeah.
But like, I was just impressed on how some of the shots and some of the things looked really good,
Mm-hmm.
and that actually, because you don't get a lot of that anymore.
No.
You don't get a lot of costume like makeup and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know. I gave this probably a 2, a solid 2. I was really fighting with the idea of doing like a 2.5, trying to justify it in some way, saying, you know what, but I don't think I will ever watch this again because there's nothing about it that I need to watch it for again. So I give it a 2, and I give it a 2 because of the creatures,
Yeah, there's definitely nothing.
the action, like you said.
There's definitely nothing to mine from it. There's no like nothing you can go back and be like, oh, did I miss something? Or like,
Nope.
there's nothing to mine from this movie.
Not at all. And the humor, so I give it a 2. But yeah, fuck this movie, man.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't want to watch it to begin with, so I was pretty much spot on about that.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, at least the listeners got to hear, another episode of us hating on it. But when we really love something, we give it mad props and all these
Yeah.
pick apart details. But when we hate something, apparently we scream about that and fucking
At least
really
two of
hate.
us do.
So yeah.
Anybody else think of when they went to the oil rig in the middle of the water that my first thought went to like Waterworld?
Yeah.
I'm like, I would have rather have taken Waterworld.
I went
can-
to
I
a
can
Mark
see what you-
Wahlberg movie, something about oil.
Oh,
When that one
Horizon,
cut-
Deep Horizon.
yeah. Or I don't know.
I think that was what it was called.
Something it catches
that
on
was,
fire.
That was a good movie.
That
though.
was a good
That was
movie.
intense. That
Yeah.
was fucking
And it's like a
intense.
true story.
That's
It
the
was a true
difference. That was a
story,
good movie.
That was an intense film.
Yeah.
Fuck. I watched that and I basically was like on my edges of my seat going, oh my God.
I thought A Fire Down Below was Steven Seagal.
Okay.
I didn't. I just.
Jason misses Taekwondo.
Yeah, I've never seen Steven Seagal at Taekwondo. He makes up his own elbow breaking maneuvers.
His we don't even need to get into Steve. I'm not gonna get
Steven
into
Seagal. The best thing
Let's
about
end
Steven
this
Seagal.
and then talk.
that, right?
Yeah, we'll end this.
I was just about to say what his technique was used for wasn't. It's not a fighting skill. It's
No.
not used for fighting. So anyway, yeah, that's all I have to say about this film.
Yeah.
So stay tuned next week when
We discuss Steven Seagal.
discuss something else we probably don't like. No, hopefully it'll be something we do like.
Yeah, I'm really,
Hopefully.
I'm not
Yeah,
liking
for
how
sure.
red in the face I feel right now. So,
Well, you're definitely not, and if you are, you're hiding it well.
yay.
Because you got a beard.
Because I
true.
went to the cabin for the 4th. I was under the sun, sunburned.
You're still whiter than
I don't,
fucking
I don't,
baby's ass.
I don't burn or tan.
That's just
Yes.
sounds like a challenge.
Goddamn ghoul.
I got sunburn.
Yeah, I know. And challenge. You want to burn me? Is that what you just said to me?
I don't know where we're going with this conversation at this point.
Yeah. Probably need to cut it off. So
Well, this is Timothy
Sounds
Bennett
like
here.
We're gonna get R-rated here in a minute. This is Aaron Bannon.
and this is Jason Chandler.
And thanks for listening. We'll catch you later.
Peace.
Thanks.